Welcome to Occultist Radio. Radio for the higher self. With your hosts, Vicky Adams and Jymie Darling. Hey, we made it to a new night. How come your name is Love Bunny?
Is that me? Whoops.
That's because that's in the computer. So you have to click on click on it, change it, and if G is polite, he may make you a gold coat. Click on your name. You have to click on the name. No, what are you doing?
I am.
No, not the coat, the name.
I did.
There you go.
I did.
We got a good show tonight. We would have had some things all set up if GoDaddy hadn't been such a jackass and changed up all their formats, so I couldn't figure out how to upload some website information. However, I will be on the phone calling them every name in the book tomorrow. You can be guaranteed of that, which is okay because I think they're used to me calling them names. Them and AT&T, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, because Vicky's here with me live.
Hi, I'm doing something.
We're gonna do Vision Quest tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big show. A very large show.
A very large show.
And we're gonna do our Q&A afterwards. After we do a Q&A, we're actually going to do a little bit of other things here. We are going to then do a couple of extra little things that you can download that'll help you walk you through your vision quests and things like that. So,
stop whacking me.
Start the show.
All right. Okay.
Start the show. Get the show going.
I thought
It's Saturday night.
I thought you'd talk a little longer.
Oh, no.
To be honest, why I mucked around with some stuff.
No. It's Saturday night and I'm a motorbike, so let's go. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's Saturday night.
So we're going to talk about Vision Quest. So let's get into it. A Vision Quest is a rite of passage.
What kind of rite of passage?
Similar to initiation.
What if I don't want to be initiated?
Well, then just don't.
Does it involve a priest touching me?
No.
Oh, okay, then we're good.
Okay.
This is what happens when I take a nap.
All right. And
then drink soda.
I'm starting again. Can we just start the whole show again?
Welcome to Occultist Radio. No, just go.
Right. A Vision Quest is a rite of passage similar to an initiation in some Native American cultures. It is a turning point in life taken before puberty to find oneself and the intended spiritual and life direction. When an older child is ready, he or she will go on a personal spiritual quest alone in the wilderness, often in conjunction with a period of fasting. This usually lasts for a number of days while a child is turned into the spirit world. Usually a guardian animal will come in a vision or a dream, and the child's life direction will appear at some point. The child returns to the tribe, and once the child has grown, will pursue that direction in life. After a vision quest, the child may apprentice an adult in the tribe of the shown direction, such as, medicine man, boat maker, whatnot.
The vision quest may be a part of shamanism, more exactly the learning and initiation process of the apprentice for achieving the ability for shamanizing, mostly under the guidance of an older shaman. And so many people use this word, shamanizing, shaman. It's a teacher. Shaman means teacher, but they're also the diviner, and they're the seer. Mm-hmm. Now, a vision quest may include long walks in uninhabited, monotonous areas, such as tundra, inland, and mountains, fasting, sleep deprivation, being closed in a small room like an igloo. The technique may be similar to sensory deprivation, to a rite of cleansing and purification. One objective is to commune with the other side. Now, vision quest preparations involve a time of fasting, and if you've got some type of... I was actually talking to a Lakota, and he said that if you have diabetes, don't be an idiot. I said, well, okay then. And he goes, if you have low blood pressure, if you have hypoglycemia, he goes, don't be a moron, don't fast. He goes, it's not necessary. He goes, I don't think you should be out there partying, drinking, and eating fast food, but maybe cut down your diet and eat bare minimums, but definitely eat. Don't screw your health for a vision quest. Sleep deprivation, he goes, only if you can actually do that. And there should be a guidance of a tribal medicine man, sometimes ingestion of natural entheogens. Now, I asked him about that, and I was like, so I get to eat magic mushrooms or what? And he was like, no, there are enough vortexes out there and enough ways to raise your energy through breathing techniques that you don't have to do that. And he goes, because that's something that shouldn't be done, just willy-nilly, the drug taking. And he goes, and it's not necessary anymore. Now, this vision quest was actually I got from, Lakota Sioux tribemen. So now this quest is usually a journey taken alone into the wilderness. And he goes, don't be stupid, don't go looking for bears. Somehow he thinks I'm stupid, I think. Either that or he knows I get up to things. Into the wilderness, seeking personal growth and spiritual guidance from the Spirit. Now, it's usually done in the early teenage years, he said, but you could do it at any given time. And you actually don't have to be Native American to do it. He said everybody can learn from a vision quest. And there were actually 2 philosophies that did vision quest. One was Celtic and one was Native American. We're going to cover both tonight. The quest itself is a journey alone into the wilderness, seeking personal growth and spiritual guidance from the Spirit. Now, I'm going to go into the whole Sioux thing because that's what I do. And it's called Walkin' Tonka. Now, traditionally, the seeker finds a place that they feel special and sits in a 10-foot circle and brings nothing in from society with the exception of water, some incense, and their little spirit stick to ring the bells, and it just has to be a slight bell ring. The oil that they wear, and some water. Water is important. A normal vision quest usually lasts 2 to 4 days within this circle, in which time the seeker is forced to look into his soul. Now, this Lakota guy said that you could actually do it in about 6 hours, and he goes at night.
Yeah.
So that is something to think about. Now, we've been asked, we're doing all this practical stuff, and they've said people have said, well, I can't even find what the hell I'm supposed to use. So we do have the kits for both the Vision Quest and the Native American and the Celtic here at the store. I was trying to put it up on the Panpipe site, but our server is a dork and changed up their things. So that'll go up tomorrow for sale, but it is in the store tomorrow for sale. We have 11 of each kits because that's all we made right now.
It is said that a strong urge to leave the quest area will come to the seeker, and a feeling of insanity may set in. And you say you feel right at home, honey. However, stop. However, the seeker normally overcomes this by reminding him or herself of the overall outcome of the quest, causing the mind to stop wandering on random thoughts. The individual can generally find solace in the fact that he or she will not die in just 2 to 4 days.
Or in 6 hours.
Or in 6 hours.
I'm actually going with this Sioux guy.
Well, he knows what he's talking about, obviously. And he goes, a lot of the old-time methods, as valid as they were, of course, can be updated.
Yeah. I like this guy too.
Yeah, and he's the realist. He's not like blowing smoke up your ass, basically. You know what I mean? I like the fact that he's really like straightforward to the point, and really forthgiving with his information. Turns out I'm in this tribe. Turns out that you are.
I am.
So
now I get to walk around going, "Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you?"
Oh my goodness!
I said that to him.
He laughed, right?
Oh, yeah. He says it's important to have a sense of humor.
Right.
And then he told me that if I couldn't find one, that there's possibly a pick and save that I could pick one up at. And I said, no, you've got that wrong. It's the 99-cent store. You can get 2 for 99 cents. And he goes, I'm going to update my joke.
So, anyway. So, anyway, that aside, some have claimed grand visions on their first vision quest, while others have not. It is an individual experience and often subject to the emotional, spiritual, and physical makeup of that person. Native American totems are said to be capable of speaking through all things, including messages or instructions in the form of an animal or bird. Generally, a physical representation of the vision or message, such as a feather, fur, or a rock, is collected and placed in the seeker's medicine bag to ensure the power of the vision will stay with the individual to remind, protect, or guide him.
Since the beginning, in the beginning, there was a rock. Since the beginning of the cycle of time, humanity has returned to nature to connect with the spirit and to seek answers to problems of physical realms, especially in this timeline when the messages of prophecy reveal themselves to the seeker. There is really actually something about being alone in the wilderness that brings us closer and more aware of the four elements and our connections to the creational source. Unless you're me, and then there's something that I'm really aware of that I'm allergic to or bites me. We go to seek truths and divine realization, just as many of the ancient prophets did in their time. And it's funny because I head out to the beach alone when I want to seek truth. In its own way, the vision quest is an initiation not unlike the days of the ancient mystery school teachings, where one learns about themselves and the mystery of the universe are often revealed to them, except you don't have to pay $10,000. It is a time of the internal transformation and a renewal. Who am I? Why am I here? Physical surroundings allow the soul to move into the grid, or what's called the collective unconsciousness, or what we refer to as like the universal energy. I got asked by somebody in private, how much are the kits, if we didn't mind asking about, if we didn't mind telling them. The kits are actually $25, and it's like a whole roll of charcoal, and you get incense and oils and the stick, and you can, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to take the different parts of the vision quests after this show, stop the encoder, start them again, so that you can download them on Podomatic and be walked through with music behind them, so that you can just have that on your iPod when you go in there. Keep that outside the circle, because that's part of the society, but at least have the music going into the circle. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I just smacked the mic. The mic was being naughty, though.
Alright. Though the vision quest is associated with Native American traditions, it is practiced all over the world. The benefits of a vision quest include curing emotional, physical, and spiritual illnesses, and discovering your mission here, to commune with nature's spirit, your spirit guides or deceased ancestors, move beyond outmoded paradigms.
Brother, can you spare a paradigm?
I was waiting for that. And to find truths, balances, and peace.
Now, the Sioux regard the universe as ultimately incomprehensible. Life, growth, and death are mysterious and suggestive of powers difficult to understand. Now, since time itself is regarded as non-causal and does not embody notions of change and progress, nothing in the universe can be considered to be inevitable. That's great. Isn't that a great statement? I like that. Nothing is inevitable. I want to tell that to the IRS. According to the Sioux, nothing is inevitable, and therefore my taxes are not inevitable. This incomprehensibility and unpredictability of the universe, anything difficult to understand, is actually called Wakan, and it's W-A-K-A-N, Wakan, which also connotes the animating force of the universe, the totality of which is called Wakantanka. Now, Wakantanka is the sum total of the personified powers that brought all things into being. Sometimes it is embodied as the six grandfathers. Now, this is wonderful because most Native Americans only have one. The Sioux tribe has six.
Right.
That's great because you basically have the elements, the sun, and the moon. But the totality of which is the grandmother actually, but the totality of what is supposed to be the perfected number in the Sioux tradition is 7. You are the 7th ingredient in this quotient. So I think that's kind of neat. Humankind itself formed in and emerged from the womb of Mother Earth, as did the buffalo. Everything has its own spirit, but all share the same spiritual essence, that is Wankantonka. So it is that the most important aspects of personality are shared by everything in the universe. We have said this over and over and over and over and over again. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. The Native Americans believe everything is connected. The Chaos Magicians believe that it is some form of a veil theorem. The Native Americans believe that it's Wankantonka. Mm-hmm. You call it tomato, I call it tomato. It really doesn't matter. They're all connected. So it is the most important aspects that they believe. Now, other beings often shared their knowledge with humans or provided aid in time of crisis, and so came to be thought of as people. The observance of the human-like characteristics of these people led to the development of kinship with them. At birth, one receives what is called a takuskanskan. Now, Takuskanskan is a guardian spirit and the life breath, or ghost, which comes from the stars. At death, these actually return to the spirit world, but during your life, they follow you.
Yeah. Okay. Ritual seeks to placate and weaken beings or powers, which may be predisposed to good or evil, but also involves a process of continuing revelation. On returning from his or her vision quest, the vision seeker commonly integrates his vision into the life of the community by performing it ritually in public. In this way, they add to the fund of collective knowledge necessary to sustain a balanced relationship between the human community and other forms of life, both animate and inanimate. This sense of unity and of the cohesive force of ritual is conveyed by the recurring song text. I do this,
I do this, like taking part of any of the rituals, the songs, the prayers.
So that I may live with my relations.
And it's not just the relations of your family, the relations of the universe. That I may live with the universe. I do this so that I may live with the universe. I do this so that I may live with the Wankantonka. I do this so that I may live with the elementals. Now, everybody, I know everybody's going to be like, okay, let's get right into it. But like with any ceremonial ritual, it's important to know the elements that play into any ritual. Mm-hmm. And so what we want to discuss is what month you do it in is important, because there are Native American moons, and the moons actually mean something. And let's just get into it. January, cold moon. It is called the Onavaltani, and this time of the season is the time for personal and ritual observance, fasting, and personal purification. During this season, families prepare for the coming of the new seasons, and it's starting in windy moon Anui, which is March. Personal items and tools for planting are repaired, and a midwinter or cold moon dance is usually held in the community as well, marking the passage or the ending of one cycle of seasons and welcoming the beginning of the new cycle. So if you wanted to end a cycle and begin a new cycle, you would do your vision quest in what? That's right, January. Sorry. The putting out of fires and lighting of new ones anciently is the duty of certain priests of certain clans, and coincides with the first new arrival of the morning star, which is now called Venus, of course, in the east. February is the Boni Moon Kagali tradition time of family feast for the I want to say Moni, for the ones who had departed this world. A family meal is prepared with places set for the departed. This is a time of fasting and ritual observance. A community dance officiated by a doctor, which is called a dad. Oh my goodness, I did this to myself, didn't I? And he told me how to say it too. Dinawaskiwa. No, Dinawaskiwi. Commonly referred to as a medicine person. Connected to the moon is the medicine dance. So if this was to do something, if you wanted to do something for ritual observance that had to do with the family community itself, you would do your vision quest in February. Now you can do several vision quests, so that you can if you did it in January, you'd find out why you would start the new cycle. If you did it in February, it would be what is the place in the community of your family place. If you do it in March, the windy moon Anui, which is the first new moon of the new seasons. Traditional start of the new cycle of planting seasons or moons. Now this is when the council fires are made. And the figure used to portray this moon is the historic field of Kanadi, one of the many beings created by the proportioner Ithalalina, or what's called the Wakantonkan. These helpers were variously charged with the control of the life elements of Earth, air, fire, and water, and their domains of the sky, Earth, stars, and the 7 levels of the universe. So if you want to find out what your place is in the universe, you do your vision quest in March. In April, you have flower moon, Kawani. First plants of the season come out of this time. New births are customary within this time frame. The first new medicine and herb plants that taught mankind how to defend against sickness and conjuring come out now. Streams and rivers controlled by the spirit being Longman renew their lives. Ritual observance are made to Longman at this time in a dance customary of the season, which is called the knee-deep dance of the spring or the water frog. So if you wanted to figure out in a how to work with the elements and understanding particularly water, then April is when you would do your vision quest. I'm out of breath.
So now we get on to May, the planting moon. The Aniskoti families traditionally prepare the fields and sow them with the stored seeds from last season. Corn, beans, squashes, tomatoes, potatoes, yams, and sunflowers are some foods planted at this time. A dance traditionally done at this time is the corn dance.
So you would do a vision quest in May for actually planting great things, which would be different than in, say, the June in the Tahulahui tradition, because in May you would actually be planting what. Now it says food, but this is planting what you'd want to grow. I'm sorry, I jumped all over your June.
Yes, you did.
Sorry.
Green corn moon, Tihaluhui, first signs of the corn in tassel and emerging of the various plants in the fields. People traditionally begin preparations for the upcoming festivals of the ensuing growing season. People of the Anigadugi Society begin repairs needed in their town houses, family homes, and generally provide for the needy. This is a volunteer help group who see to the needs of the less fortunate and elderly and infirm of the villages.
So you would do a vision quest in this thing to see what would be needed for you to repair
like and social consciousness,
right? But also your social consciousness place, but also what needed to be repaired.
What needs to be repaired, yeah. In July, the ripe corn moon. Can you help me with that?
That's Gayuguwani.
Yeah, I'm just not good with these names.
Well, yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Gayuguwani. First foods of the new planting and the roasting ears of corn are ready. Towns begin the cycle festivals, dances, and celebrations of thanks to the Earth Mother and the apportioner are given. In the old times, this was a traditional time given to the green corn dance or festival. A common reference to this moon is the first roasting of the ears of corn, the sweet corn moon. This is customary time for the commencement of the stickball games, traditionally called Anustusti, which is a little war known as lacrosse. So I guess that's where
lacrosse came from. Yeah.
So stickball dances and festivals are commonly held at this time.
So traditionally, if you did a vision quest in July, it would be to see really where what you had. Your vision quest would be to what you had so that you could be thankful, and this would be more of a vision quest of thanks.
Yeah.
So, but it would also be where every end of something, there's always a beginning of something. So it would be what did you need to start looking forward to?
Yeah, it's the commencement of the cycles, basically.
Yes.
So, in August, you have the fruit moon. The Galoni fruits of the trees and bushes are gathered at this time. The various pink clans begin to gather many of the herbs and medicines for which they were historically known. Green corn festivals are commonly held at this time in the present day. The wild potato clans begin harvesting various foods growing along the streams, marshes, lakes, and ponds. So
now's the time to historically to do your vision quest on what you need to gather.
Yeah.
So that is for what you would need in the upcoming. Now in September, the nut moon, Duli Udizidi, the corn harvest referred to as the Ripe Corn Festival, was customarily held in the early part of the moon to acknowledge Silu, the spirit of the corn. Silu is thought of as first woman. The festival respects Mother Earth as well as providing all foods during the growing season. The Brush Fest Festival. Wow. Blow dried it, forgot to put gel on my tongue, it's not set right. The Brush Feast Festival also customarily takes place in this season. All fruits and nuts of California, of the bushes and trees of the forest, were gathered at this time. A wide variety of nuts from California and the trees went into the nut breads. For the various festivals throughout the seasons. Hunting traditionally began at this time. Now, what this is you would actually do a vision quest at this time, to see to start to look for the hunt. Where would you go for things? Remember, food didn't always come into the same places, so you'd have to scope out things, and so now's the time to scope out what do you need for survival. In October, the harvest moon, Duni Nudi, a time of traditional harvest festival, Nawatakia, when the people give thanks to all the living things of the field and the earth that help them live, and to the Wakantak and Apportioner, what's called the Apportioner. The Great Moon Festival is customarily held at this time, so now it's time in October, to actually commune with your Wakatonkan, or the spirit that's been given to you, so that this is the time that you would actually find what was your purpose. Why are you here? And who am I? November, the trading moon, Nanadakuya, traditionally a time of trading and bartering among different times and tribes for manufactured goods, produce, and goods from hunting. The people traded with other nearby tribes as well as distant tribes, including those of Canada, Middle America, and South America. Also, the customary time of the Friendship Festival, the Huna, new friends made. This was a time when all transgressions were forgiven, except for murder, which traditionally was taken care of according to the law of blood by a clansperson of a murdered person. The festival recalls a time before the world selfishness and greed took over. And this was also a time when the needy among the towns were given whatever they needed to help them through the impending winter seasons. Now, during the November moons, you would do a vision quest, and it would take you down into getting rid of the societal greed that has been installed in you and getting back to the basics so that you know what's important. It's almost an enlightenment ritual. And in December, the snow moon Yuskawui, the spirit being snowman, brings the cold and snow from the earth to cover the high places while the earth rests until the rebirth of the seasons in the windy moon Anui, which is March again. Families traditionally were busy putting up and storing goods for the next cycles, and the elders enjoyed teaching and retelling ancient stories of the people to the young. So now's the time that you would start to get the recollections and try to get memories, and you would do your vision quest then to understand. So according to this Lakota guide, there are actually 12 vision quests that a person would do during 1 year, and then they would be set.
Wow.
I thought that was important.
So knowing thyself is also important.
And you would do that through birth totems, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Are you going to tell us about those?
Yes, I am.
Yay! Story time.
Excuse me.
Story time. Can I play the Barney theme?
No. Let me just go into the birth totems.
I forget what the show is now, too.
That's okay.
That's all right.
All right.
Because you got to spy themselves through the little thing. And it says, I spied Vicky sitting in a chair.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to get smacked with paper in a second.
I want to get into the birth totem. So the birth totem is that animal spirit, which is the equivalent to the sun sign in traditional exoteric astrology. Almost everyone in Western culture knows what the sun sign they were born under, basically. So in the native wisdom, there are 12 different creature beings that are assigned as the birth totem for a period of approximately 1 month. Hence, our birth totem is based upon the day and month of our birth. Yet, unlike the study of sun signs in exoteric astrology, the birth totem is not so much representative of our ego as it is a teacher that we have chosen to study under in the current incarnation.
It's almost like the Wankataka.
Yeah, it is, right? In somewhat simpler terms, this means that the wisdom of the medicine of our birth totem brings to us the many lessons that we have chosen to absorb this walk around the sacred hoop in order that our soul may evolve and progress.
Again, going up a tree, enlightenment.
The more one aligns and integrates with the lessons that come to us throughout our life, the more we will tend to exhibit the higher vibration, characteristics, and attributes of that particular birth totem. So, thanks to Grey Wolf, here's a deeper meaning to each of the birth totems.
Yeah, Grey Wolf gave us that.
Yeah. So, we're going to go through these really quickly. So the birth date's March 21st through April 19th. The birth totem is the falcon. It's the clan of the hawk, which is the fire chief, and the wind is from the east. The directional totem is eagle flying from the northeast. The conscious intent is leadership through example. Motive of higher self is obtain concrete knowledge through embracing the winds of experience so that the soul may soar ever higher. And the plant and flower is the dandelion. The mineral is the opal. And your keywords are speed. I'm so sick of having this cold. Speed, precision, adventurous, passionate, and impatient. The birth totem falcon individuals are those whose outer personality is full of movement as they fly through their daily existence, seeking to forge the way ahead so that others may benefit from their ability to scout new territory. Yet while the falcon's soul desires to lead, if he or she has not yet explored the inner skies of their own personality and then integrated this knowledge into their approach towards their life path, then they will not possess the tools necessary for true leadership. True leaders are born through the flight of experience as they integrate lessons learned and experiences faced and hence become role models for those who watch the evolved falcon soar on the wing. Only by first thoroughly exploring their own inner domain and discovering the motivations behind their own unconscious desire to lead and thirst to blaze new trails may the falcon individual then have the strength of wisdom necessary to carry him or her further into the uncharted territory of the future. Without coming to live peacefully in the here and now, the falcon individual cannot possess the balance between pioneering spirit and practical knowledge that is necessary to complete their birth role of leader. For a leader that leads in haste and without significant forethought may unwittingly cause harm to either themselves or to those who will be drawn to follow such a dynamic soul. When one with birth totem falcon has integrated the lessons of the personality with the life path, which is the soul lesson power totem, the beauty of the falcon on the wing is a glorious scene to behold, and the spirit of a true leader emerges. Falcon will then blaze through the skies, an arrow speeding towards its target. The falcon's approach to his or her own lessons will be as though the lesson is the prey to be perceived, tackled and consumed so that the lesson will not need to be repeated. In ancient times, the falcon was the hunting companion to the aristocracy. As such, these splendid creatures were treated with honor and respect for their keen eyesight, speed of flight, and precision of movement. Likewise, the individual with falcon as the birth totem possesses the ability to time their movements along their life path with grace and awareness, resulting in a quickened integration with each direction that is faced along the sacred hoop of life. This then begins them the requisite experience to fashion the tail feathers of true leadership and thus satisfies the higher self's motivation to lead through the vision of wisdom.
Raise your hand, falcons.
What'd you say?
I said I think the people in the room who are falcons should raise their hands so we can see. Birth date's April 20th through May 20th.
That would be you.
That's me! I am a beaver! I am the birth totem is a beaver. And the clan of the turtle, which is the earth chief. Wind is east. The directional totem is an eagle. Conscious intent, gain a sense of security through physical possessions. Motive of higher self is discovering security within. Plant or flower is the clover, and the mineral is a jasper. Words, keywords for all you beavers. Persistent, industrious, patient, resourceful, and oblivious. May 20th makes you a falcon.
No, makes you a beaver.
Oh, yeah, it does. It makes him a beaver. You're a beaver.
You're a beaver like Jymie.
Woohoo!
Beavers
Let's give a beaver
unite.
tail slap. Birth totem beaver is one of whose outer personality is immersed in an inner sense of insecurity as they enter their present incarnation. This lack of self-worth may stem from an unstable early childhood environment or sense of personal loss. The beaver will then work furiously at building a comfortable dam for themselves in which they can feel truly safe and secure. They are one who will work persistently and give their devoted attention to any task they set forth in their mind until the project has been completed, allowing nothing to distract them in the process. As they grow into maturity and they yearn to move beyond the comfort and security of his need to have and to possess things of material value. Beavers look within themselves to identify the long-buried fear, loss, or betrayal, which has haunted them all these years leading up to that point in time, and have accumulated the massive dam of twigs, logs, and branches that clutter their mental and emotional space. The resulting fortress is ponderous indeed, and built as much to prevent others from gaining access to them, which they may equate with exposure to being hurt yet again, as to have the satisfaction of knowing they can depend upon themselves to free themselves of connection to others. Yet, since we are all here to interact with, learn from, and love one another, this house of twigs and branches is bound to collapse upon the deep beaver in some stage along their soul's progression. Once the connection has been made that there is something more than having a roof over their head or a steady source of income to rely upon, beavers can then apply themselves into a great sense of industry and resourcefulness toward overcoming the weights that threaten to pull them under their murky waters of operating through unconsciousness. Think of the beaver as they conduct their dam. They are the reformer of the animal kingdom as they go busily and about gnawing down wood necessary to build the dam to which they will safely protect and shelter themselves and their offspring. In doing so, they not only change the landscape or the vista of the woodlands around them, they change the flow of water along the stream and river, creating new energy to the balance of nature. What is this if not reformation, and the recognition in order for a new life to be given a chance to thrive and flourish? Well, the old must first be cleared away. In tackling their life from the perspective of personal growth, beavers then move beyond the conscious intent to have and possess, to find security within, and thereby complete the mission of the higher self.
May 21st through June 20th, the totem is the deer. Clan of the butterfly, which is the air chief, and the wind is east. The directional totem is the eagle. Conscious intent is bringing humanity together. Motive of higher self is develop and integrate the mind, and the plant flower is the mullein, or mullein, however people want to pronounce it. Mineral is agate. Keywords: intelligent, skilled communicator, knowledgeable, the conveyor of ideas, friend to all, and restless. Birth totem deer is one whose outer personality is one of apparent contradictions, as she is gentle in appearance yet strong, fleet of mind yet slow in putting her thoughts into action. Her conscious desire is to be an integral part of threading together of humanity, to weave a blanket of oneness from all races, spiritual beliefs, and cultural backgrounds. And yet she may have difficulty in integrating her mind to her emotional center. As long as deer flees from the demons of her own making, she will not achieve a dream of becoming a thread in the quilt of acceptance, for she is not accepting her own inner self. Think of Sister Deer as she moves quietly through the forest, ever alert for the subtlest of movements, the slightest of sounds that will warn her of impending danger, and yet her own flightiness often leads her straight into the sights of the hunter. When one who has deer as their birth totem can learn to calm their restless nature, learns to quiet their frantically beating heart, they may begin the process of formulating thoughts, untangling them from the massive ball of jangled threads into a garment of higher knowledge that can be passed along to others. By first addressing their own acceptance of self, then embracing and bringing together friends, associates, and new acquaintances who are friends not yet known, into a common ground of shared goals, they will ultimately learn mastery over their restless mind, thus truly begin the process of integrating their mind with their emotional center.
June 21st through July 21st. She's talking about bald beavers. June 21st is July 21st, and I'm lost on where I'm supposed to be. The birth totem, oh great, is the woodpecker, which is the frog. Clan of the Frog, Water Chief. Wind is south. Directional totem is coyote. Conscious intent is devotion. Motive of higher self is integration of the emotional self. You have the rose, and your mineral is rose quartz. Keywords: sensitive, compassionate, devoted, intuitive, nurturing, and hyper-emotional. Any woodpeckers out there? And I said woodpeckers, G. Not just peckers. The birth totem woodpecker is one who is deeply devoted to loved ones, but be they friend, family member, or lover. When operating slowly from the emotional center, the primary focus for woodpecker is the utterly devoted to another, perhaps even at the expense of the self. See, now I just want a cider. Mm-hmm. By focusing their love so completely outside of themselves, the individual with birth totem woodpecker seems to find validation in the love and acceptance of their beloved. When that love is reciprocated, the woodpecker believes themselves to be happy. Yet when the love of another towards themselves undergoes any change, even however subtle, they are once more faced with the truth that they cannot escape. True happiness is a gift we cannot receive from another. It is a present that we give to ourselves. It is believed that the woodpecker's thrumming drum roll against a tree is the heartbeat of the Earth Mother. It is also said that the woodpecker calls the thunder from the sky with the same rhythmic knocking. Mimicking his beat with a drum or a rattle, the shaman introduces a state where they can cross planes or dimensions to converse with the animal totems. So if you can pull... If you can pull up what the woodpecker sounds like and mimic the beat, you can actually go into another dimension and converse with animal totems, the ancestors, and to ride on the wind of the great mystery to see what lies ahead, or to tap into the powerful medicine of the totems. When woodpecker bores into a tree in search of beetles and insects which provide themselves sustenance, they use their beak and head to drum out the holes and uncover their meal. This symbolizes the need for one with this totem to gain emotional perspective, to learn what detachment is needed, to literally use their head instead of recklessly following their hearts. This is the process of integrating the emotional center with that of the physical center, mind and physical, and a challenging task for one as sensitive and prone to bouts of overwhelming emotion as woodpeckers are. Yet when true discernment can be found, learning when to give freely and learning when another is merely tapping a life-sustaining vein without returning energy, then woodpeckers may find the rhythm of their own true heartbeat and make the leap across planes to greet the integrated self. We got any peckers out there?
How would we know?
I don't know. Raise your hand if you're a woodpecker.
I'm sure there are. Okay, so July 22nd to August 21st, the birth totem is the salmon, which kind of doesn't sound exciting, but I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is.
It's clan of hawk, which is the fire chief. Wind is south. Directional totem is the coyote. Conscious intent is to create, which is really cool. Motive of higher self is gain insight. And the plant flower is the raspberry. The mineral is the carnelian. Keywords: creative, passionate, courageous, loyal, prideful. Birth totem salmon is an individual whose outer personality is driven by the need to create and have domain over his or her environment. The desire to create is motivated by birth totem salmon's desire to leave a lasting impression. Depending upon what level of personality the salmon individual is choosing to operate from, this may manifest itself as either the desire to inspire others through their own example, and thus be a lantern in the night, or they may be operating from the desire to bring acknowledgement from for their achievements that they've made, to assuage the feelings of self-doubt which may harry them until they learn the lesson of self-acceptance. Just as a salmon is driven home to spawn, the individual who has salmon as his or her birth totem most fulfilled when exploring the depths of his or her own soul, which is the home, so that a true work of art may be given birth in the form of poetry, paintings, or the less tangible creation of ideas. Life's emotional currents may run deep and at times tumultuous, yet as the salmon will forge its way upstream against seemingly impossible odds so that they may propagate their species, birth totem salmon will truly become whole when he or she has conquered the currents that row between their own hearts. Only once they have learned that the destination is not the end and that life's currents are not always an upstream battle, when the realization is made that one must delve within for the answers they desperately seek, may they find the insight which is the birthright of this totem. Then as they swim in their deep waters of awareness and understanding, they will realize that the doorway to home has always been within.
August 22nd through September 22nd is the bear. That's not a really good bear, is it? Anyways, the bear is the kind of the turtle, and it's the earth chief. Wind is south. Directional totem is coyote. Conscious intent is discernment. Motive of higher self, soul's perfection. Plant or flower, violet. Mineral, topaz. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, topaz.
Topaz. You can't eat your own kind, G. Discerning, careful, practical, practice, precise, kind, and critical. Birth totem black bear is an individual whose outer personality is one of observation. As a birth totem, a black bear moves through their daily life. There is a noticeable, careful study of all that they encounter and experience. It is through the intention that it is as though the intention is to sift and sort through all of the stimuli and input that the conscious mind encounters to categorize and label each person, action, and event so that a greater understanding and assimilation can occur. In the wild, black bear is an omnivore, yet their diet will consist primarily of vegetarian fare and larvae or grubs. To attain the morsels of squirming grub, the bear must forage through fallen logs and stones, sifting and sorting through the forest debris in order to be rewarded with the treats they so enjoy, and that will provide the sustenance that will benefit their physical well-being. Yet birth totem bear will eventually realize that not everything can be understood with the physical senses alone, and the individual soul of another can never be neatly or completely labeled or categorized, as it is a dynamic and ever-changing with that individual's evolvement. Until black bear can come to the awareness that life is ever-changing, and that to attempt to understand that process with the physical senses alone will inevitably lead to frustration, they will be stunting their own spiritual growth. Just as the black bear must rely upon their higher senses or intuition in order to prepare them for the lean months of winter and to alert them of impending threat, so must totem bears learn to rely a little less upon physical evidence and more upon their inner voice and feelings. In this way, integration of the mind and physical to the emotions and soul can take place, leading to the higher intent of the black bear's incarnation, the perfection of the soul. Let's take a little small musical break. What do you think? So that we can catch up. We're going to take a small musical break, and we'll return back to the to more birth totems. We got a very large show, so one song will be plenty enough because it's a very large show. Don't you think it's a large show? Now, it's just yeah, I know. I'm just trying to find something here because okay. Oops. Some of those terms I just wasn't ready for. See, let me just baby. You know what? I like this, so we're gonna play it because I can, and I like this version. So here.
Here, boy.
can be like they are. Come on, maiden. Maiden, take my hand. We'll be able to fly. Maiden, take my hand. It was clear that she couldn't go on. The door was open and the wind appeared. Candles blew, then disappeared. The curtains flew, then he appeared.
We're back. Birth date, September 22nd through October 22nd, is the Crow, clan of the Butterfly or the Air Chief. The wind is west. The directional totem is the Grizzly Bear. The conscious intent is partnership, motive of the higher self, balance and harmony. Plant is and flowers ivy, mineral is azurite. Keywords, peaceful, intelligent, charming, idealistic, romantic, tricky. Birth totem Crow is an individual whose outer personality is driven by the quest to bond with another. By design, the Crow is a highly curious creature, imbued with the remarkable degree of intelligence. Despite such intelligence, this heightened curiosity will also often lead Crow in the path of unforeseen danger. As he follows the glimmering call of a shiny penny, he is oblivious to the encroaching threat of an oncoming vehicle. So intent is he upon retrieving the fascinating object. Birth totem Crow individuals can become so focused upon the goal of attaining partnership that the other areas of their life may tend to be ignored, eventually leading to some crisis of faith, health, or practical consideration that will realign them, at least temporarily, to the bills needing to be paid or the vehicle in need of repair. In nature, the Crow is part of the community of other crows, and thus they are very social, preferring the company of their fellow winged ones and even the company of two-leggeds to being alone. Like their animal brothers and sisters, Birth totem Crow will seek companionship and interactions with others almost compulsively. The underlying force that drives one who is operating from the personality center of this birth totem is a fear of being alone and faced with their own company. Because so much of the focus and intention for one with this birth totem is exerted upon relating to and pleasing others, they have learned very little about themselves and thus have not developed the relationship with the inner self that is requisite for a soul to fully integrate as it moves along the sacred hoop of physical life. Once a Crow individual takes the time to go within and learn about themselves, the roll along the red road and the lessons they have chosen to come and learn, They will then discover all the shiny and fascinating aspects of themselves that they have been blessed with. This may then take them on a journey towards a deep and abiding relationship to the self, consequently adding even more to their relationships with others. And thus the attainment of the higher intent for this birth totem may be had to know true balance and harmony.
October 23rd through November 22nd. Birth totem is the snake, the clan of the frog, the water chief. The wind is west. Directional totem is bear. Conscious intent is physical fulfillment. Motive of higher self is spiritual union. The plant and flower is the thistle. The mineral is the amethyst. The keywords: intense, regenerative, penetrating, passionate, scornful. Excuse me. Birth totem snake is an individual whose outer personality is driven by desires of both physical and body and the emotional heart. In nature, the snake is a constant state of transformation, regeneration, and renewal as he sheds his old skin, revealing a healthy new skin to begin the next cycle of life. Like their birth totem, individuals born under the totem of snake are souls compelled towards continual evolution and transformation, driven to discard the past and emerge with new flesh and sight of the dawn now before them. Yet the process is often a challenging one, as in order to step into the brilliant light of self-acknowledgement, these individuals must first face and then release the painful moments of their past. Many such lessons for birth totem snake will come in the guise of physical desires, as they are very sensual individuals that consciously seek to bond with another on a physical level. These strong urges can be nearly overwhelming at times and may often lead one who has not integrated the physical self to the spiritual, mental, and emotional into painful situations in which they may either unintentionally hurt another or become hurt themselves. The reason for this is because there is a deeper calling that arises from the soul of birth snake, the call to spiritual union with another. Yet this call, when one is operating from personality, is heard as a call to join only in physical union. Those times when the snake individual joins with another in an act of physical passion, yet the spiritual union is not achieved, is ultimately left with a sense of dissatisfaction. Whether verbally expressed to their own partner or not, this dissatisfaction may ultimately lead to one or both partners becoming disillusioned and wanting more from the relationship. When both birth totem snake individuals can understand the motives of the higher self and can attain true integration between the physical, emotional, and spiritual and mental self, then the motive of the higher self for spiritual union will ultimately be attained, both in terms of union with the self and the union with the other.
The November 23rd to December 22nd is the birth totem Owl. Clan of the Hawk, which is the fire chief. Wind is west. Directional totem is the grizzly bear. Conscious intent, understanding. Motive of the self, harnessing concentration. Why are these important? Why are we going through all these? Because if you don't know yourself, you don't know how to, you'll get lost in your own vision quest on what you're trying to learn.
Yeah.
So I know that this is kind of tedious and monotonous, but if you don't know yourself, you can't do the vision quest. The plant and flower is mistletoe, the mineral is obsidian, and the keywords are optimistic, far-seeing, insightful, direct, and self-indulgent. Birth totem owls is an individual whose outer personality is focused upon understanding all of life's myriad mysteries. In nature, the owl is known for their ability to quietly observe their prey as they sit perched atop a nearby tree limb, waiting for the opportune moment to strike you. You're an owl.
I am.
Taking their intended prey by complete surprise. Like their birth totem, individuals born under owl will fly into new situations and encounters with their eyes wide open and their ears attuned to the slight nuances and mannerisms that will reveal much to them about their new environment or companions. This knowledge may be utilized to gain better understanding and appreciation for others, or if the owl person is operating from contrary personality, the information obtained may be used to strike down those who may perceive them as a threat.
Oh my goodness.
Perhaps the greatest natural ability of the birth totem owl individual is his or her ability to see good in nearly all situations they encounter. One who is operating from a well-integrated owl center may inspire others to rise above their own indifference and succumb to the contagious enthusiasm of the owl, thereby participating in group effort to effect a positive change in the world around them. One of the greatest challenges to this birth totem is that these individuals have a difficult time in settling their own restless inclinations to be forever on the move, if not literally, then metaphorically speaking. So intent are they upon seeing all they can see and experiencing everything that they can possibly be squeezed into one lifetime, they often miss the deeper sense of satisfaction that can come with setting up a nest and nurturing a deeper understanding of a select few topics rather than skimming the surface of many varied subjects and hence gleaning little useful knowledge. When birth totem owls when the birth totem owl individual can come to the ultimate understanding of their own restless nature and quell the impulse to fly in fear of what they may find within themselves, then the higher self may be met and embraced through their newfound skill and focused concentration. Take it away, sister Vicky! Reach the rest of the birth totems.
You're very scary. According to G, you did startle him.
G, you must find the light. Give up that sinful way of the beaver.
Oh my God.
Anyhow, all yours.
Thank you.
Yes, you're so welcome.
Ooh. I feel so klutzy and tongue-tied, and so do you, right? It's not just me, right?
No, I feel good. I'm perfect.
You are perfect.
I'm dancing with fairies and bunnies.
Right, December 22nd through January 19th, the birth totem is Goose, clan of Turtle, Earth Chief. Wendy's north directional totem is Buffalo. The conscious intent is conserve resources. Motive for higher self is integrity through proper action. The plant and flower is the bramble. The mineral is the peridot. Keywords: determination, perseverance, ambitious, resourceful, level-headed, self-involved. Birth totem Goose is an individual whose outer personality is one of quiet determination and resourcefulness. As one who is born under birth totem Goose goes about his or her daily life, they are conscious of the need to preserve all resources, both their own internal energies and the resources of nature. Oh my God. Does this suggest that these individuals are lazy? Hardly. What it does suggest is that they know how to make the most out of their energy, plotting and planning their moves and steps along the red road of physical life so that they can produce the most effective results. Less conservation-minded individuals will lay collapsed along the wayside, while Goose is still plodding resourcefully, resolutely forward, eyes firmly focused on the goal ahead. It does not help me.
What am I doing?
Goose souls may become so single-minded in their drive to provide a safe nest for their mate and offspring that the relationship to those loved ones may suffer as a result. It is not from lack of love or caring that interpersonal relationships suffer. It is rather from their tendency to block out all but the singular goal, lest they become distracted and waver from attaining their objective. This is the greatest stumbling block for Goose, as they may ultimately attain the beautifully feathered and sturdy nest, only to turn around when it has ultimately been achieved, to find that there is no mate there with which to share in the accomplishment. Because they become so driven and focused, these birth totem Goose may lose sight of those aspects that make life truly enjoyable, the connection to other souls along the journey of life. And while their own personal integrity is how they approach and operate in life is almost always above reproach due to their high standards of honesty, the ultimate lesson for these souls to learn from goose is a need to balance material and physical aims with spiritual and emotional connections. Once goose recognizes that they need to preserve their relationship to others, then the unfolding of the soul's high intent of integrity through proper action can be achieved, and the result is a beautifully woven, warm, and full nest.
It's like sitting next to Jim Carrey, isn't it?
Yeah.
As I just pull every stunt in the book. And is that normal? Is my hand supposed to be like that? What happens when I put the 2 pins in my mouth like that? Like, it's like having Jim Carrey next to you. I know. I'm sorry. January 20th through February 18th is the otter. And the clan of the butterfly, which is the air chief. And its direction is north. The directional totem is buffalo. Buffalo.
Why are you throwing paper around everywhere?
I'm throwing paper around everywhere because that's part of the second show, and I'm trying to figure out how much I have left of the first show. I'm trying to get myself organized, and although that this side of the table looks like it's just like a nightmare, it actually is organized.
Okay.
All right. The conscious intent: swim in the fountain of knowledge. Mm-hmm. The motive of the higher self: wisdom through understanding. You get that through the plant and the flower, the fern. And your mineral is the turquoise. Key words: inventive, friendly, curious, independent, and tactless.
Tactless.
But that's not my birth sign, so you can't use that on me. I'm not tactless, I'm oblivious. There's a totally different thing. Birth totem otter is an individual who is incarnated into this particular lifetime to immerse him or herself in the fountain of knowledge. As such, these souls will be in continual search of information, ideas, and concepts that will provide a refreshing fountain from whence they shall drink thirstily. However, as the fountain of knowledge is an eternal and never-ending source, and their enthusiasm to glean as much knowledge as quickly as possible, there may be and exist a tendency within these individuals to skim the surface rather than explore the deeper waters that would result in truer understanding. By looking at the general inquisitiveness of the playful sea otter, we witness a creature that is capable of delving deep into the ocean's waters to retrieve oysters encapsulated in shells. The otter will then rise to the surface of the water and float on their back, crack open the shell to retrieve the tasty morsel that awaits inside. Much like their birth totem, otters, individuals, have a deep-seated curiosity that leaves them hungry for all of the oysters of information that exist in the universal sea of knowledge. Yet the challenge for them is to not become so weighted down by the variety that is available to them that they are constantly picking up and then dropping each idea in favor of a new or more tantalizing one. Tantalizing. Once a birth totem otter individual can learn that true knowledge comes from applying wisdom and applying experience to these ideas, then they will then crack the shell of understanding to the delight of wisdom found within, and thus fulfilling the soul's higher purpose.
The last one is February 19th through March 20th. Birth totem is wolf. Clan of frog, water chief, wind is north. Directional totem is buffalo. Conscious intent is compassion. Motive of higher self is illumination. And the plant and flower is the plantain. The mineral is jade. Keyword: psychic, compassionate, spiritual, illuminating, mystical, vague. Birth totem wolf individuals arrive on this plane of existence to learn the gift of the seer. As such, these souls are highly intuitive, with the ability to attain great spiritual heights as they seek union with their ancestors that walk the blue road of spirit. Consequently, there is a part of birth wolf soul that will seem to be anywhere far away, existing in another state of consciousness and not completely in touch with their physical surroundings or reality. This is because some aspect of birth totem wolf is operating at a slightly different wavelength, with only one ear tuned and listening for the voice of the great mystery. Herein lies both the greatest blessing and the greatest challenge of this particular birth totem. While taking up the role of physical life, it is necessary to be in the physical world, to face in truth those things which may be uncomfortable, painful, or ugly, as it is a part of educational process of the soul that walks in flesh. This is where the challenge comes for the birth totem wolf individual, as these are sensitive, compassionate, and tender beings that abhor the thought of others existing in pain or suffering. This is not to say that we need also to be of the physical world. In other words, while it is important for the growth of the soul to encounter, not knowledge, acknowledge, and transmute the shadow, it is neither necessary nor beneficial to participate in those thoughts and actions that may bring pain or suffering to self or others. Equally, wolf, as he or she walks beside the two-legged, as in any role totem, birth power, etc. It is a teacher soul, and therefore it is a part of the life lesson of these individuals to teach others the gift of compassion. Yet part of the higher vibration of compassion is the knowledge of when to stand back and allow another to walk their own path in truth, just as the mother wolf in the wild would teach her cubs requisite survival skills so that they may then either become a contributing member of the pack or so that they may forge off on their own to establish a new pack. In facing one's own shadow self with conscious awareness, eliminating and integrating those behaviors can inflict pain or delay the process of the soul. Birth totem wolf then operates from a clear octave of compassion and ultimately fulfills the soul's high intent of spiritual illumination.
The directions that you find yourself facing or being drawn towards or seeing things come from in a vision quest make all the difference too. Say like the north. Lessons of using your potential. Your magic is manifestation. The element is earth, now associated with the nobility of manifesting things from the true essence within you. Earth is symbolic of wisdom, patience, prosperity, grounding aspects of the mind, body, and spirit. What you gain in knowledge and teachings now will be used later. What seemed impossible will be enlightened with a new idea and thought. Listen to your intuitions and trust that you will be transformed in accordance with your true inner pathway. Balance, teaching, abundance, knowledge, sacred wisdom, empathic intuition, inner treasures, thankfulness, drawing forth gentleness, alchemy, and trust are important. If it's the east, then the lessons of responsible relationships. The magic is the higher vision and prophecy, and the element is air. Spiritual vision opens up creativity, inspiration, higher awareness, higher intuition, self-mastery through the use of will. Air links the earth and heavens, which allow the ability to walk between the spiritual and physical world, using dreams and visions. Be open to any revelations you have, for they will give guidance. It is time for spiritual renewal, sometimes easy, sometimes painful, but always welcome, for we need to grow within and without. Keywords: quest, visions, dreams, imagination, and inner spiritual renewal, higher compassion, journeys, emotions, and goals.
I'm sorry. I'm having such a... Sorry.
That's all right. You got a cough?
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, so we're on south.
Yeah.
Lessons of life, death, and rebirth. Magic is creation, element fire. Opportunities to change and manifest a new thought, idea, or action. Fire is the element of heart, passions, and love that help us regenerate our lives. Change must be met with strength and endurance. Knowing you will move through this stage and awaken new, fresh, and purified. All of life is a cycle. There are only transition periods that we must maneuver through. During such changes, we learn, grow, and expand our self-awareness. Trust, strength, change, playfulness, self-sufficiency, awakening the inner child, overcoming obstacles, resurrection, purification, protection, faith. Is west.
West is next.
Yep.
Okay. Let's do it.
Do you want to do west?
Nope.
Okay, lessons of adaptation. Magic is shape-shifting, element is water. Physical and behavioral adaptations to this environment in order to survive. Water will always take the path of less resistance. Utilizing your energy to the fullest in whatever life requires is a hallmark of a true shapeshifter. Being able to adapt according to need in all areas of your life. This requires a shifting in consciousness to flow like water over a given circumstance. The animals have no qualms with changing. It does this without hesitation. Healing, intuition, creativity, illumination, strength of will, communication, new learning, divination, creativity.
Before we go into the Celtic thing, let's take one more quick break so that we can get ready to walk you through. Because now, where the Native American quest was actually very individualistic, not very visual as per se a visualization or a walkthrough. The Celtic Vision quest actually is a visualization walkthrough. The Native American quest is to get into the circle and use your incense and then just become open, just to connect. Where in the Celtic, they connect you through a very visual aspect. Mm-hmm. So before we do that, let's grab one more song, and then we'll start on Celtic Vision quest, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
When the devil is too busy and debts a bit too much, they call on me by name, you see, for my special touch. To the gentlemen I'm misfortune, to the ladies I'm surprise, but call me by any name, anyway it's all the same. I'm the fly in your soup, I'm the pebble in your shoe, I'm the bee beneath your bed, I'm the bump on every head, I'm the heel on which you slip, I'm the pin in every head, I'm the thorn in your side, makes you wriggle and ride, and it's so easy when you're evil. This is the life you see, the devil tips his hat to me, I do it all because I'm evil, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. While there's children to make sad, while there's candy to be had, while there's pockets left to pick, while there's grannies left to drip down the stairs, I'll be there. I'll be waiting round the corner. It's a game, I'm glad I'm in it, 'cause there's one born every minute, and it's so easy when you're evil. This is the life you see, the devil tips his hat to me, I do it all because I'm evil, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. I pledge my allegiance to all things dark, and I promise on my damned soul to do as I am told. Lord Beelzebub has never seen a soldier quite like me. Not only does his job, but does it happily. I'm the fear that keeps you awake, I'm the shadows on the wall, I'm the monsters they become, I'm the nightmare in your skull, I'm a dagger in your back, an extra turn upon the rack, I'm the quivering of your heart, a stabbing pain, a sudden star, and it's so easy when you're evil. This is the life you see, the devil tips his hat to me, I do it all because I'm evil, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need, and I do it all for free. Your tears are all the pay I'll ever need. It gets so lonely being evil. What I'd do to see a smile, even for a little while. And no one loves you when you're evil. I'm lying through my teeth. Your tears are all the company I need.
All right, we're back.
Sorry.
You were supposed to get that out during the music.
I did,
Ow.
but I have more.
Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to put music afterwards and record these, especially the visualization of this one, separate. And we do have spell kits available for the items that are needed. They're $25 a piece. There's the Celtic Vision Quest one. There is the Native American Vision Quest one. They will be for sale this weekend. Should we do it Tuesday?
Yeah.
Let's get them for sale on Tuesday, and they'll be on www.panpipes.com/occultistradio.htm. If you use PQRN as your as a code, it'll give you 10% off. Mm-hmm. I'll do it. Mm-hmm. I'll do it. Mm-hmm. I'll do it because it's like crazy 80s.
It's what?
Like crazy 80s.
Okay.
We crazy around here.
Okay, no worries.
We sell into everything.
Simmer down now.
I don't simmer down. So Tuesday on, again, panpipes.com/occultistradio.htm. We'll have the spell kits ready to run.
They smell amazing.
They smell amazing. We worked long and hard on to get the right ingredients for the incenses for everyone. We did a lot of work.
And they look cute.
They look cute. So, let's start on the vision quest, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
On your journey, you may encounter an animal ally that you fear or hate. Not every creature will be likable or even friendly. If this occurs, that bunny doesn't stop scratching the page. Stop scratching the cage. If this occurs, stop it.
This is really hard to do with all that distraction.
If this occurs, do not irrationally run away from it, but ask it questions. It may be there to help you understand more about yourself or a particular problem you are facing. If you simply cannot accept it at that time, thank it for appearing and search for another. The rejected animal will very likely appear on a later journey and eat your legs. No, I'm sorry. Will just appear on a later journey when you are better able to accept what it has to offer.
How did you know what was in my mind? Choose a time and place, even a room with a locked door, for your vision quest where you will not be disturbed. Set out what shamanic tools you have on your blanket or cloth. Carry the smoking incense or herbs to the 4 cardinal directions, using either a drum or a silver branch, which is kind of what we're providing you with. It's a little branch with some bells attached. We'll begin our ride into the other worlds. When you feel yourself slipping into a meditative state, sit comfortably or lie down, relax your body, and dump your problems.
You're going to... You find yourself standing on the shore of a gently moving river. A Celtic boat is drawn up halfway on the shore, an unlit torch fastened on one end. As you step into the boat, it floats free from the shore and drifts out into the current. You relax as the boat drifts on down the river, past great forests, and toward a rocky, rugged mountain. Soon, you are quite close to the mountain. In the side of the mountain is a dark cave, just big enough for you and the boat to float into. The river disappears into this cave, carrying you with the current. The torch bursts into flame at the front of the boat as the deep darkness settles about you.
You drift along the river current inside the cave tunnel. At first it is very quiet except for the sound of water lapping against the rocks. Occasionally, you may see figures perched on the rocks. There will be aspects of your personality, both positive and negative. Observe the insistent ones closely, for there will be clues or to traits that may need correcting or reinforcing. But do not stop the boat. Let it continue on its way. Soon, you see a lighted opening ahead, and the boat floats out into the sunlight. This new land is in the area of the other worlds, much like our plane of existence, yet with differences. Here, animals, birds, and fish can talk. There is a slight difference to the makeup of plants, both in looks and the ability to communicate. This is a spirit plane where medicine men, shamans, priests, and priestesses come on vision quests. Here it is possible for you to find animal allies. You may be approached by certain animals, birds or fish, who will be able to communicate clearly to you. If you see any creatures 3 or more times, it will very likely become an ally or an helper. You may feel drawn towards special plants or trees that will also be able to communicate.
Ye may well meet other shamans or spiritual seekers on this plane. Some have much knowledge to share. Some who have died to the physical realm work entirely with shaman seekers on this level. The boat drifts to a sandy beach, and you step out. The colors are vivid, the air filled with the strange and wonderful scents. You feel a sense of anticipation. For on this plane you can discover the goals you need to accomplish, the subjects you need to study, the helpers you can aid you in your shamanic journeys, the answers to your questions. Many little paths lead from the river through the trees. Beyond are clearings and little lakes, different groves of trees, meadows, and canyons. You can go anywhere you please. Take as much time as you need to explore. Be very alert for animals, birds, or fish that may approach you as allies and helpers. Don't feel foolish or be afraid. Try to communicate with the various plants and trees here. There are no communication barriers in the other worlds.
When you are ready to leave this other world, return to the riverbank. Step into the canoe and let it carry you down the gentle river into the center of a brilliant light. As the light finally fades around you, you find yourself back in your physical body. You may find that your consciousness has not quite meshed with your reality. Give yourself a few moments to relax. Jot down notes about your journey and what may have occurred afterwards. Later, these notes will be reminders so that you can more fully record your travels in your shamanic journal or grimoire.
Or books of shadows.
Or books of shadows.
We're actually going to record that as an individual little walkthrough.
To go with
it.
Yeah.
Now again, knowing thyself prior to going into this is as important, and as much as you know your birth signs for.
Yeah.
The Native American, you have to know Celtic too. Mm-hmm. So, let's start with December 24th to January 20th, the stag. The name, Dav. The ruling planet, the sun. Keywords, independent, majesty, integrity, and pride. Gift or ability that you should be trying to get in your vision quest. Sensitivity to the other world, shape-shifting, initiation, and journeying. Birthstone is crystal. Compatibility, harmonious relations with the signs of adder and salmon. Will also relate well to signs of the seal, otter, and goose. Difficulties may be expected in relation to other signs. So on your vision quest, you may want to try to work on those difficulties. The date of birth of January 21st through February 17th is the crane. The name is Kor, and the ruling planet is Uranus. The keyword, secret knowledge, eccentric and patient. The crane people are usually clever people with specialized skills and talents, with a progressive look on life, sense of evolving spirit, sensitivity to the other world, journeying, and magic. You should wear a peridot. Harmonious relations with the signs of the bee and the swan will also relate well to bears, owls, and cats. Difficulties with other signs must be worked on.
February 18 through March 17. The animal is a seal. The Gaelic name, Ron. Ruling planet is Neptune. Keywords, spiritual, loving, super sensitive. Your gift, quality, or ability. Seal people tend to have great compassion and are highly adaptable folk. They are also romantics and dreamers of life, artistic and emotional, sensitivity to the other world, shape-changing and connection with the fairy folk. The birthstone is coral. Compatibility, harmonious relations with signs of otter and goose. Will also relate well to signs of salmon, stag, and adder. Difficulties may be expected in relation to all other signs. March 18th through April 14th. The animal is the bear. The Gaelic name is... take it away, Jymie.
Arch.
Thank you.
Arch.
Yeah. Ruling planet is Mars. Keywords, achieving, primal power, instinct. Gift, quality, or ability. Bear people are very connected to their ancestral roots. Filled with courage and a sense of adventure. Extremely physical, extroverts, protection, journeying, and sensitivity to other worlds. Birthstone is a ruby. Compatibility, harmonious relations with signs of cat and owl. Will also relate well to the signs of crane, bee, and swan. Difficulties may be expected in relation to all other signs. April 15th through May 12th.
That would include me.
Yes, it does.
I'm an adder.
The animal is an adder. Okay. The Gaelic name is Nahir.
Nahir.
Silent H. Nahir.
Oh, Nahir.
Ruling planet, moon. Keywords, transformation, healing, life energy. Give quality or ability. Adder people have a virtue of resourcefulness. That is one of their greatest strengths. Strong interest in family. Excellent memory. Drawn to natural methods of healing. So there's also healing, magic, shape-shifting, and initiation. Birthstone is the moonstone. Compatibility, harmonious relations with signs of stag and salmon. We also relate well to signs of seal, otter, and goose. Difficulties may be expected in relation to all other signs.
The May 13th through June 9th is the bee. And that is the Biach. And the ruling planet is Vulcan. Organization, community, analytical. The bee people are very charismatic and full of new ideas, lively spontaneity, and the ability to communicate on every level, influential and very social, fertility and creativity. Your birthstone is the topaz, and your compatibility is harmonious relations with the crane and the swan, and you relate well with bears, cats, and owls. Work with the other people on your vision quest so that you cannot have difficulties with anyone. June 10th through July 7th, otter. And that is Davron, is the Gaelic name, Davron. Ruling planet Jupiter. Keywords, family, helplessness, and intuitive. Otter people are enterprising with a wide vision, very optimistic, with a personal magnetism, protection, shape-shifting, and journey, and their stone is the diamond. They have harmonious relations with the goose and seal, and will relate well with salmons, adders, and stags if you want to work with those people. And, of course, the other signs you want to try to get along with. July 8th through August 4th is the cat. Can I do it like the customer told me? Gaelic, it's kirti, cat. No, in Gaelic, it's actually kachi. And the ruling planet is Earth, and the keywords are creative, sensibility, and nobility. Cat people have a strong sense of personal integrity and a firm set of values. Loyal and trustworthy, deep devotion to a family, affectionate, protection, shape-shifting, and sensitivity to the other world. Birthstone is the red carnelian. Compatibility is they are good with owls and bears, and they relate well with the crane, the bee, and the swan. And, of course, you want to work with the other signs so that you don't have difficulties with them.
August 5th through September 1st is the salmon. Gaelic name is Breton. Ruling planet is Mercury. Keywords: wisdom, inspiration, rejuvenation. Gift, quality, or ability: the salmon people have knowledge of the arts and science as well as good reasoning powers. Perceptive and clever. Keen observers, initiation, shape-shifting, connection with fairy. Birthstone is the amethyst. Harmonious with signs of adder and stag. Will also relate well to signs of otter, seal, and goose. Difficulties may be expected in relation to other signs. September 2nd through September 29 is the animal's swan. Gaelic name Ela. Ruling planet Venus. Keywords: beauty, love, and soul. Gift, quality, ability: some people are kind and gentle, adept in love and social arts, calm and serene with a strong domestic sense, connection with fairy, shape-shifting, and creativity. Birthstone is the emerald. Compatibility very well with crane and bee, and relate well to owl, cat, and deer. And of course, difficulties with other signs.
September 30th through October 27th is the goose. That is the Giera. That is moon, veiling, direction, vigilance, and stamina. Goose people are generous providers, but also thrifty savers and investors regarding their future security. They have sharp intellect as well as wit, artistic protection, fertility, and creativity. Their birthstone is the opal. And they have harmonious relations with the seals and the otter. It will also relate well to the signs of the adder, stag, and salmon. Difficulties are expected with the other signs, and that's why you want to work with them. We have the October 28th and November 24th. That's the owl. Gaelic name is Kalik Ohachi. The ruling planet is Pluto. And the keywords are wisdom, change, and detachment. The gift or quality is the owl people have a powerful presence. Personal magnetism that can both attract and overpower sensitive people, highly imaginative and passionate. Initiation, sensitivity to the other world, and magic. The birthstone is Jasper. They are harmonious with the signs of the cat and the bear, and relate well to signs of bees, swans, and crane, and expect problems with other ones, which is why you're working with it.
November 25th through December 23rd, the animal's the raven. Gaelic name is Bron. Ruling planet is Saturn. Give quality or ability: raven people have a constructive approach to life. They will continue a struggle that will defeat most people. They are very self-disciplined and patient. Shape-shifting, sensitivity to the other world, connection to fairy.
Now, let's do something here. Let's go ahead and, you guys, it's not going to affect you guys at all. But I'm going to stop the encoder and put on the music. I'm trying to find where I put this, the damn Celtic Vision Quest thing. And let's go ahead and re-record that, stop the recorder. And then we're going to start the encoder again and call in the quarters of the elements in the Native American tradition so that when you're in that circle, you can call in the quarters that need to be worked. Now I'm just trying to find found some of it. This teaches me just to throw papers around all willy-nilly.
What are you looking for?
The Celtic Vision Quest.
Well, let's just put on some music.
Can you find it? Because I want to stop the encoder again. We're just going to stop the encoder. It's not going to have anything to do with you. We're going to put just so that the two vision quests are done in consecutively, so that we have them.
All I have is the Native American.
I've got it.
Okay.
I've got it. Okay, so we're going to stop really quick. This is not going to affect you. We're going to put some music on. Vicky will do the Celtic one, and I'll do the Native American one so that it's one steady voice constantly. We'll start with Native American, and then we'll stop the encoder, so there'll be pauses. Please do not freak out over the pauses. Stay with us. We'll come right back on. You don't have to do anything. Okay? Because let's go ahead and finish off this show, because next week we're going to be doing, we were going to do Egyptian magic.
Yeah.
I want to change that, because at the beginning of the year, let's do retrogrades.
Yeah, let's cover retrogrades.
So we're going to do a whole show on covering retrogrades, on how to deal with them, how to handle them, the dates that they're coming up, how to work with them, how to make them work for you. And again, don't forget that all the kits for all the practical stuff that we're doing is at www.panpipes.com/occultistradio.htm. This will all be up on Tuesday. You can use the code PQRN, all lowercase, to get 10% off. All right. So this finishes the Occultist Radio part. We're going to do the two separate recordings of the Vision Quests, and then we're going to go on to open Q&A. So 3 pauses. Stay with us. Great Spirit Grandfather, I send these words to you. Hear my prayer, for these are my words. To Father Sun, to Grandmother Moon, to Mother Earth, to all my relations that have been created as I, to the 4 winds that bring us the seasons of life, to the east where Father Sun rises, bringing us a new day, a new meaning of life, a light in which to see the path before us, to the south where the warm air comes to us, bringing heat and warmth, the seasons of spring and summer, to the west where the Father goes to bring us darkness, so as we may see the universe and search for the questions of our life, to the north where the cold winds come from, bringing to us the seasons of fall and winter. I call to the Tanta, to the Wakantanka. I call to the Tantas and the Waka, spirits that have been given to me. I call to the ancestors. I call to the elements. Allow this circle to be filled with the quest that I am seeking. Allow me the answers of this moon. Allow me the answers to why and to whom.
You find yourself standing on the shore of a gently moving river. A Celtic boat is drawn up halfway on the shore, an unlit torch fastened on one end. As you step into the boat, it floats free from the shore and drifts out into the current. You relax as the boat drifts down the river, past great forests, and on toward a rocky mountain. Soon, you are quite close to the mountains. In the side of the mountain is a dark cave, just big enough for you and the boat to float into. The river disappears into this cave, carrying you with the current. The torch bursts into flame at the front of the boat as the deep darkness settles about you. You drift along the river current inside the cave tunnel. At first it is very quiet, except for the sound of water lapping against the rocks. Occasionally, you may see figures perched on the rocks. There will be aspects of your personality, both positive and negative. Observe the insistent ones closely, for they will be clues to traits that may need correcting or reinforcing. But do not stop the boat. Let it continue on its way. Soon you see a lighted opening ahead, and the boat floats out into the sunlight. This new land is in an area of the other worlds, much like our plane of existence, yet with differences. Here animals, birds and fish can talk. There is a slight difference in the makeup of the plants, both in looks and the ability to communicate. This is a spirit plane where medicine men, shamans, priests and priestesses come on vision quests. Here it is possible for you to find animal allies. You may be approached by certain animals. birds or fish who will be able to communicate clearly with you. If you see any creature 3 or more times, it will very likely become an ally or helper. You may feel drawn to special plants or trees. They also will be able to communicate with you. You may well meet other shamans or spiritual seekers on this plane. Some have much knowledge to share. Some who have died to the physical realm work entirely with shaman seekers on this level. The boat drifts onto a sandy beach and you step out. The colors are vivid, the air filled with strange, wonderful scents. You feel a sense of anticipation, for on this plane you can discover the goals you need to accomplish, the subjects you need to study, the helpers who can aid you in your shamanic journeys, the answers to questions. Many little paths lead from the river through the trees. Beyond are clearings and little lakes, different groves of trees, meadows and canyons. You can go anywhere you please. Take as much time as you need to explore. Be very alert for animals, birds or fish that may approach you as allies and helpers. Don't feel foolish or be afraid to try communicating with various plants and trees here. There are no communication barriers in the other worlds. When you are ready to leave this other world, return to the riverbank, step into the canoe, and let it carry you down the gentle river into the center of a brilliant light. As the light finally fades around you, you find yourself back in your physical body. You may find that your consciousness has not quite meshed with reality yet. Give yourself a few moments to relax. Jot down notes about your journey and what may have occurred afterwards. Later these notes will be reminders so that you can more fully record your travels in your shamanic journals or grimoires.